go. Okay. Let's see if we got this. Okay. Looks like we're live. Hey, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Man, this week is jamming by. I mean, it has just been jamming. It's crazy how fast time goes. It is just unbelievable. Here we are. What, 2 days? Well, one more day of the month left for November, and then we're into December. Almost 2024. Absolutely crazy. Goes by very, very fast. Reminds me, before we even get into anything, it just reminds me, I'll never, you have conversations in your life that you really don't forget. And, you know, remember sitting there as a child with my grandmother, and my grandmother telling me, she said, Ed, the older you get, the faster the time goes. And at the time, I'm like 12 years old at this conversation. And, it's like everything lasts forever. It's like summer is lasting forever, school lasts forever. And I remember thinking, nah. And she goes, you lose everybody that you love and everybody that you care about. And if you live long enough, she goes, all the people that you knew growing up, they're all gone. And I just, when you're a 12-year-old kid, you don't think about that. When you're a 58-year-old man, you start going, you really you start thinking about that because the time really just goes by so ridiculously fast. And, I'm looking at that now, I mean, my babies are 22 years old, they're living their lives. And, it's wild. Look, I was in the private live stream that I do on Mondays. We were sharing some pictures and stuff, and I was showing everybody some pictures when I was younger. And black beard, the beard was all black then, and it's just and then looking at the pictures when I was younger, it's just like, holy crap. You turn around and you go, all right, where'd that time go? So very, very wild. So anyway, before we I just had a little nostalgic moment just to share with you. Um, Before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. Please be decent, please be kind. No racism, no nastiness. If you can't abide by the very simple, easy rules that we have on the channel, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches will boot you out of here. Carol Princess said, I know how you feel. I turned 57 today. It's, you blink your eyes and, before you know it, you're like, holy crap. So, yes, I did see that, the court. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about that a little bit too. But, yeah, so, I did a video for earlier today talking about New York State, and somebody had sent me information on Twitter. I got something else as well that came in, and the courts have ruled with Hochul, okay, ruled with Hochul in New York State that it's okay that they do what they're doing up there. So I want you to realize. So we'll talk about this a little bit in the beginning of this stream. Come on, okay, baby, down, stop, relax. Um, you know, they have in place now in New York that if, for any reason, right, for any reason, if they decide uh, medically, they're doing this medically, if there's anything that they deem that, you are not doing what you're told, even anything experimental or whatever whatever they come up with that they decide that is for your best interest. And if you don't go along with that, they can come to your home. They can take you out of your home. They can put you in a camp for as long as they want. There's no due process. There's no appeal. There's no anything like that. And that, they can provide you with whatever treatment that they deem necessary, which I just, that is insanity. That is a complete and utter insanity. And I'll tell you honestly, if they try to implement something like that, they're going to get people killed. And I'm talking the government officials. And I'm not saying that as a threat. I'm not threatening anybody. But there's going to be people out there that are going to be absolutely no way I'm doing X, Y, or Z. And if somebody shows up at their house trying to take them, they're going to fight back. I mean, and that's just a reality. That's not, like I said, that's not me, threatening anybody. I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just, but you know what? Because people decide to use their free will, make decisions over their own life, their own health. I just saw today another thing, and I'm just going to say, I'm not accusing anything of anything, but Pfizer is going to be, they're saying Pfizer is going to make billions of dollars out of these new cardiovascular drugs that they are putting out on the market. Because for some reason, and I'm not saying why it happened or how it happened or anything like that, so I'm not speculating or anything, that there's an increase in people having heart issues. I wonder why. Right? I'm just curious. I don't know why. I'm just asking. I wonder why there's a large increase of people having heart issues. But they're saying that Pfizer's coming out with new cardiovascular drugs that are going to help people that have cardiovascular issues. Isn't that just wonderful that Pfizer is there, and the fact that they're going to make billions and billions of dollars off of this. Again, I read this article today. Like I said, a lot of times when I read stuff, guys, I'll be honest with you. I don't. I take it with a grain of salt. I don't know what You have to be careful. You don't know what's true or what's not true. Now, I'm not saying that that's locked in stone and that's 100% the way that it is, but that is what the article that was sent to me said. So I find that really, really interesting. So, but yeah, it's just it's interesting. And I don't know if you guys have been also paying attention, right? The In the news, right? I just saw. Like I said, I read way too much. I'll be honest with you. I just I read way too much, and I just saw a couple different things. They were saying, that the COVID cases have tripled, that things are starting to explode again. But the curious thing that I am not hearing about, and I'm just, like I said, I'm a curious person. I'm inquisitive. I think for myself, and I go, you know what? Isn't this normally? And please tell me if I'm wrong. Isn't this normally flu season? Isn't flu season right now? That's when it happens. Let's see. Extreme changes in temperatures, warmer temperatures to colder temperatures, people getting sick, they get the flu and stuff like that. But I'm not hearing anything about the flu. It's very bizarre, very bizarre. Not hearing anything about the flu, but we are hearing, right, about the uptick of other things. I find it fascinating. Like I said, I'm very inquisitive. Um, it's very, very interesting. But I don't know if you guys saw as well that they're talking about in is I don't know, maybe it's deja vu. I don't know, not 100% sure. Um, in China right now, they're having in northern China, they're saying that there's this pneumonia going around that's basically affecting children right now, right? And why destroy the narrative with the facts? Well, exactly, Dale. It makes sense, right? Um, in China, they're saying that there is this pneumonia going on right now that is affecting children. Big increase of this, right? Big thing going on. Now, it seems to be following the same type of pattern that happened before a few years back. Not talking about anything, but it's interesting. Why then, if that is the case, there's this ongoing situation where you don't know what's happening or what's going on. Why are we not restricting travel, right? Well, could it possibly be? And I'm not saying that it is, not saying it isn't. Just curious on, like I said, I've always have a lot of questions. Could it possibly be that they want it to get over here? I don't know. I can't say. But yeah, it's it's interesting that year also happens to be an election year, which is, ironic. And if we have an election year, right, if we can have mail-in voting again, I'm sure that's completely above board, right? No bad things happening there. Sure, because I mean, you have to have an ID for everything else that you do, anything else that you want to accomplish or do, right? Try to open up a bank account without an ID, right? Try to get your driver's license or any of that type of stuff without having some form of an ID. But oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it with the election. Voting for whoever you want to vote for, perfectly fine. I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. That's just, but I find that all fascinating. I find it very, very interesting. So, what do we got? 263 in the chat, guys. We're at 79 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I do really appreciate it. Also, it really makes a big, big difference with the algorithms. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. What I have a really hard time going back to the whole New York thing, okay? What I have a really hard how long would you think it'll be if they get that to go for New York State, that they'll want to spread that all over the place? And how is that in my, and like I said, this is just a curiosity question. How is that okay with people? How can people sit there and go, yeah, okay, I trust these guys because like they've been so honest in the past about everything. It is amazing to me. Again, when you have Hillary Clinton sitting there, right, and they're doing an interview with her, and she's saying, talking about mega, oh, mega, they need to go to re-education camps. She said it right in an interview. They need to go to re-education camps. I'm like, oh, well, so now what do we turn into China? If you don't go along with what you're told and do what you're told, you are sent to a re-education camp. And when you come out of the re-education camp, you will be a better person and you will do as you are told. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Families turned on each other during Hitler's day. Oh, yeah, absolutely they did. Yep, absolutely they did. And that's the whole thing. It's like, I mean, again, guys want to just go back. They had, I know that it was, so it was New York City, of course. They had numbers that you could call. Neighbors weren't doing what they were supposed to do. So, if you were not doing during, when everything was happening, they had numbers that you could call. And you know how our society is, folks. I mean, there's plenty of busybodies out there that can't ever mind their own business. They want to get into everybody else's business. And they can't wait to get, to tell and get people in trouble and all that type of stuff. Happens constantly, but it's like, it is amazing to me with everything that's going on that these type of things that are allowed to happen, allowed to continue to happen, just insanity, just absolute insanity. So actually, let's get into what I was going to, the talking out of two sides of their face, right? Basically, right, two sides of their mouth. You have the president, and this is just kills me. This just kills me. Re-education camp, concentration camp sounds the same. You think so? Yeah, no kidding. Sounds very much the same. Very, very much the same. Folks, we in World War II, we locked up our own people. We locked up our own people in the United States of America. If they were Japanese Americans, they had internment. They called them internment camps, where people of Japanese descent from the West Coast were put in these internment camps. Look it up. Look it up. That's not a million years ago, folks. That's not even 100 years ago. So, I mean, look what our own government does to our own people. So, yep, and yep, the Australians were put in camps during the last go around. Yep, and people didn't obey. right? How do we fight this? You know what? That's a great question. You know, everybody. See, so here's the thing: how do we fight this? You're going to have to make decisions, folks. Everybody individually is going to have to make decisions. We have already seen how that works out, right? And let's be realistic. And I'm not going to sit here and BS you and give you some kind of pipe dream, but most of the people out there are going to comply. They're going to do what they're told to do because, you know, they don't want to cause trouble. They don't want to, you know, rock the boat. Now, will there be people that will cause trouble? Will there be people that will rock the boat? If these things are going on, all right, like planning to do in New York State, if these things are going on, it's going to come down to standing your ground. I'm not telling you to stand your ground. I'm not telling you to fight back. I'm not telling you to do anything. But we all have to make individual choices of what we need to do. What is our line in the sand? What is our line in the sand? And you know, I can only speak for myself. Where I stand on things. Um, you know, if you think for yourself, if you are not a just go along to get along, and I mean, I could not tell you, folks, how many people I talked to back in the whole when that whole thing was happening, right? And I would say, why are you wearing this, right? Why are you doing that? And I could not tell you the number that said to me, well, you know, I just don't want to hear any problems, so I just do it. That's what the majority of people. There's going to be the ones that are locked in. They're going to whatever they're told, they're going to do, and that's it. They're not going to cause any problems. They're going to go along because the government said so, and blah blah blah, and you have to do it, and for all the reasons and all the propaganda for whatever is going on, whatever the narrative is being pushed. They're going to believe it without even thinking about it because the government says it. It must be true, so I'm going to do what I'm told. There's going to be those people. Then you have those people that are going to question things, right? But when push comes to shove, they're going to go, well, yeah, I don't want any problems, so I'm just going to do it just so they don't bother me. And that's realistically what's going to happen. A very small percentage, just like in this last situation that happened in this country, a very small percentage of people will say no. And what happened, and I want you to remember this, guys, because we're not talking, this wasn't 1938 Germany, okay? This was the United States of America and other countries around the world. The same thing happened in every one of these places. If you didn't go along, if you didn't do what you were told, you were ridiculed, you were lost your job, you were called out on social media, you were selfish, you were this, you were that, you were the other thing. I mean, those are all facts. Those are all facts. There's nothing can be disputed of how people that didn't go along with the program, how they were treated. Screaming at people, yelling at people, you know, it's unbelievable to me, right? I'm a big person. Believe whatever you want to believe, right? If you say to me, that's not black, that's a dark gray. If you think that's a dark gray and it's not black, hey, good for you. Have at it. Believe whatever you want to believe. I know that that's black, right? I know it's black. You can tell me till I'm blue in the face that it's not. It doesn't matter. Do what you got to do your own thing, but it is insanity right now. It is absolute insanity. I agree, it looks black to me. Well, you know, it's dark green scaredy cat, so that's funny. But yeah, it's you're some people are never gonna not question things. They're just gonna do what they're told. And they're, you know, whatever the narrative is, they go along with it, they do whatever. And you know, when we're not going to really get into more of that, but it's just like I said, when the time comes, folks, you really got to make a decision. You got to do what you got to do. I'm not telling you what to do. You know, you have to make that choice. I know what my decision is. I know what I'm doing, and it would not be fun. for them or me, because I know how the ending would be. I know how it would end up, you know, and I know how it would be painted in the media afterwards. I already know that, and that's okay, you know. So I like being free. I like making my own decisions. I don't want somebody else telling me what I have to do to make them feel comfortable. So that's just me. That's just that's just my choice. So Ed, do you remember talking on the phone last year? Sold the house debt free, 100%. That's awesome. Good, man. That is awesome. And you know what the funny thing is with that? You know that you're talking about that. They don't want you to be free. They want you to be indebted. They want you to be a slave to the system. And that's what I think a lot of people will never understand. They the everything is set up. Everything is set up to keep you down. Absolutely everything. I just saw an article, and I was talking to somebody about this today. It's funny that and it was funny because she was like, "Yeah, I read too much." She goes, and I just read this article, and they were talking, and we're going to talk about this for a second too, and we're going to bounce around is what we're going to end up doing. And I will talk about the whole thing, talking about out of two sides of their face. We'll talk about that in a second. It's about our president. But I had this conversation today, and they were talking about they were talking about rappers, the rap music, the hardcore gangster rap music thing that happened in the 80s. And, and all the violence and derogatory things towards women and all that type of stuff with that type of music. I was never a fan. I'll tell you, I listened to all kinds of music. I never liked hardcore gangster rap because it was completely derogatory towards women, and I didn't like that either. Okay, and but anyway, what they were saying in this article was, and I think they were talking to. I'm trying to think what rapper they were talking to, because I watched the interview, and Ice Cube. I think it was Ice Cube was the rapper, and so they were talking about how the lyrics, and they were like, "Well, you guys wrote the songs," and he goes, "Yeah, we wrote the songs, but the executives and the people in charge were pushing a certain narrative, and if a song was something the way that they wanted it, that's what got put out there." And yeah, Run DMC was okay. Yeah, I mean, like MC Hammer, I like MC Hammer, but that wasn't hardcore gangster rap. It really wasn't. So there's a big difference. The one oh my god, who Flavor Flav was in the group. God, what was the name of that group? You know what I'm talking about, guys? The guy wore the big clock. That group, they were hard. They were a hard. But anyway, they were talking about NWA. Yes, yeah, and yeah, Public Enemy. Yep, exactly. Thank you. I knew who it was, and I could picture it in my mind, but I couldn't think about what the name of the band was anymore. But anyway, what they were saying is they were directing this type of music towards young black men because they wanted them to be angry. They wanted them to be violent. They wanted them to be out there causing problems, because if they do that, where do they end up? Where do they end up, folks, right? They end up in prison. And that helps feed the complex, because prison is about making money. It's making these men work, right? They make these men work. And it's all colors of men, too. But you look at the prison system, when you have what I can't remember the percentage, but when you have a part of the population that makes up 14% of the population of the country, but makes up more than 50%, I know it's more than 50% of the prison system, they're set up for failure, realistically. And it's done intentionally so that these young men don't make something of themselves. And it's realistically, people will say, oh, well, it's their own fault of the choices that they make, which I believe wholeheartedly every choice that we make is up to us. But when you grow up in an environment where the government has set it up, really think about this. The government has set it up to incentivize families not to be together. So if you have a family, all right, if you have a family that has a head of the household and dad, I'm gonna break it down even better for you so you guys really understand. And the studies have been done and the research is there and you can see this, and it doesn't matter what demographic. Doesn't matter if it's white families, it doesn't matter if it's black families, doesn't matter if it's Hispanic families. If dad is in the picture and dad is involved in the children's life. So what am I talking with that? Had a household, mom, dad, and the kids. Dad raising the kids. If those are the cases, those kids have a much higher percentage of doing something positive with their life. But if mom is the only one in the picture raising the kids and dad is not in the picture at all, those kids have a much higher tendency to end up in jail. And it's a fact, and it was done. You look at the single parent rate before the 60s, right? In the black community, whatever community it was. And when they brought in welfare, they incentivized the father not to be in the picture. And like I said, you can believe me, you cannot believe me. I don't really care one way or the other, but do the research. You'll see that it's absolutely true. And it was done to get the fathers out of the picture because they knew if the father's not in the picture, it's going to be a worse situation for the future generations. When you give anybody, and this is what I believe should be happening in this country. And I'll tell you this right now, and I don't care what anybody says. We have smart kids in this country, very, very intelligent kids of all backgrounds, Hispanic, white, Chinese, Japanese, American Indian, you name the ethnicity of the person. There are smart kids in every one of those groups. Those kids that show higher intelligence should be given the opportunity to use their brains. It should not be, oh, well, only the rich kids get to go to college and do that type of stuff. The smart kids should be given that opportunity. I don't care what color they are. And they should be given an opportunity to do better and to do that type of stuff. These kids now, there's nothing there for them. Their chances of getting ahead and stuff like that and doing the right thing, unless they had a very, very strong mother figure, which again there are examples, plenty of examples of that, where a very strong mother was in their life and they were successful even if dad wasn't in the picture. But the majority of them that didn't have a father figure in the picture, a positive male role model makes all the difference in the world. And that's strictly my opinion. Because I'm going to tell you what, my father gave me and my sister up for adoption when I was 5 and my sister was 4 because he had a new family and his wife didn't want us in the picture and he didn't want to have to pay child support. So he let my stepfather at the time adopt us. And so it was not a good situation. It ended up being a really bad situation for a long time. I made the decision as a very young man. I said, if I ever have children, I'm going to be the kind of father I didn't have. A lot of people don't make that decision. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I am not, okay? But I made a choice as a very young man. I said, if I ever have children, I said, I want to be the kind of dad that I didn't have. I wanted to also be the kind of stepfather if I was with somebody that had a child already that I didn't have. My stepson Josh, I raised him from 5. He split his time between us and his father. And his father, awesome guy, great father. From 5 to 16, I was in that boy's life. And I was also, and I'll tell you, I had his dad came to me one time and he said to me, he said, Ed, he said, I'm going to tell you something. He goes, I could not have asked for more in a stepfather than you have been for my son. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that. I treated Josh no differently than my own children. They were not treated differently because he was my stepson. He was my boy as well, is always will be. Great kid. Hopefully, I had a good positive influence on him too. And like I said, again, his father was in the picture and his father was a really good father as well. So, you know, but again, it's always, folks, it's always, always, always comes down to the choices that we make. Always does, always will. It just, that's the way it is. It's just the way it is. To be a father is a choice, divorce, but we agree to disagree and put those kids above all. I get you. That's awesome, JB. And that's how it should be. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Just because you and her don't work out, those kids are your kids. She's always going to be their mother. You're always going to be their father. And it really saddens me when the children are used as a tool to keep families apart. Like they'll, just say all kinds of horrible things about the other family or the other, the mother or the father, either case. Realistically, if you just shut up and let nature take its course, the kids are going to figure it out. They're going to know who the piece of crap parent is and who's the good parent. They're going to figure it out. And it's not about who lets them get away with what. Okay, that's not what it is. Um, Kids know. They figure it out. They really, really do. So that's just some interesting things. But anyway, yeah, I got on a roll here. So, but it just, the system realistically is set up for failure. They don't want fathers to be involved because if you have a male role model in the picture, those kids are more successful. That's proven. That is proven. If mom's in the picture or mom's not in the picture, if they got a strong father, those kids statistically do better, you know, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Yeah, when we were kids, we weren't stupid. That is for sure. That is for sure. But all right, so let's talk about this. What we're going to do from now on to right now, guys, because the chickens in New York are not laying like at all. They're not. So we're not even going to do a New York egg count anymore for right now. We're just going to stick with the chickens that we have down here. So we're going to do that egg count at quarter two. So just putting it out there. So that's how, just so you know. Okay. So when we get to that time, we'll do the egg count for here. So, but it was a cold one last night. Last night was very, very. Actually, let me look and see what the temperature is right now. Today was much, much nicer. I can tell you that. It was probably, I think, the coldest that I saw last night was about 13 degrees. So, but it was definitely a chilly night last night. And I don't even think I think we hit 30 for a high yesterday. Yeah, like right now it's 8:30 at night. It's 34 degrees where I'm at, and we're only going down to a low of 32. So much, much nicer. And tomorrow's actually going to be in the 50s. So I'll take that. I can live with that. Sun was out today. We had a really good sunny day, good solar day. I didn't have to run the generator at all. And so that was always a nice thing too, especially this time of year. You get to November and like usually about halfway through November. So you got that, you have December, then January and February are the times that intermittently I have to use the generator. Once you get into March, the days are getting longer again. Obviously we're 3 weeks away from the winter solstice. So once we get past that, the days start getting longer again. And I can't wait for that because I literally hate this time of year. I cannot stand this time of year. Uh, Add that bunker is a cool project. Thank you, John. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done in the bunker. That's not going to be a quick, easy thing. It's going to happen overnight. That's going to take time, and we're gonna get at it. We got one of the guys is retired now, and he wants to come down more, and then him and I can work on that project. So that's what we're kind of going to be doing a lot more of when everybody else is not here. And then I have some guys locally that can help as well. So intermittently, we can have a day, plan a day, and say, okay, listen, man, I'm off, you're off. Let's all get together and just work on this for a few hours. And yeah, several hands make help. Yep, with consistency. Yep, it just many hands make light work. That's the old saying. And that is absolutely it's a true statement. I don't know anything other than that, but it's the more people you got working on stuff, and it just makes it so much easier. I don't mind doing certain things by myself, but it's just it always seems to me that when you have a group working together and you can, bust chops and talk crap and joke, and it just makes everything go better. And then like when you're working together like that, it's just better. So all right, what do we got? 339 in the chat. We got 158 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so, uh, to show support for the channel again, and I do appreciate that. It makes such a huge difference with the algorithms, the interaction. So the more thumbs up, the better. So I do appreciate for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time. All right, so we have the president up there talking about, we need to not be, so divided. We have to come together. He said we have to come together and work together and do all this type of stuff. So he says that out of one side of his mouth, and then on the other side of the mouth, he's talking, oh, mega bad, mega this, mega that, and and all this type of nonsense. And it's like, really, where's the coming together? Oh, we come together if we do it your way. If we, I mean, it's just, yeah, come together my way. Exactly. Yep, yep. Scrappy cat. Yep, yep. So yeah, it's just as long as you do it my way, then we can come together. But if you have different thoughts, and no, we can't, which is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, folks, it is amazing to me that how does anybody even take this guy seriously? I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, can the left not see what a train wreck? I think they can because I believe you know when they're polling Democrats don't want Biden to run for president again. They don't want him to be president again because he is the oldest president we've ever had. He's 81 years old. Okay, obviously, if you're paying attention to certain signs, there does appear. I don't want to say that there definitely is because, I'm not a doctor and I cannot make those diagnoses, but it appears there's a cognitive decline. I guess that's safe to say, right? It appears if you watch him and what's going on, it definitely appears that there's a cognitive decline. And if something happens to him, look who we're stuck with. Look who we're stuck with, a lunatic that is power hungry, that wants to be president. She basically stated, I'm ready to step into the role if it's need be. I mean, that if that shouldn't frighten you more than anything else, I don't know what would. Thinking of her, if he was reelected, uh, that she was, there, and that he would make it to 85 or 86 years old by the time the election was, or his 4 years would be done. Man, it's craziness, absolute craziness. And people say, oh, well, people don't like her because she's somebody of color. And, I think what people don't realize, a lot of people don't like her because she's condescending. She talks down to people like they're idiots. That laugh, I call her the cackling hyena. That's what she reminds me of. She reminds me of a cackling hyena. Um, and it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a Democrat. It has nothing to do with the fact of what color she is, because she's not black. That's a fact. She's not black, but she is a darker skin color. Oh, wow. But you know, I like I said, I don't even care about none of that. If somebody was a decent person, yeah, but they wouldn't be in politics. So I mean, I guess that throws that out the window, right? Ah, it's crazy. Yeah, she's a former prosecutor that there was somebody that was proven innocent. And this is a fact. You can look this up. There was somebody that was proven innocent, and she tried to keep him in jail. That's a fact. That's scary. So if that type of person would do that, wouldn't you think if, oh my God, this person was innocent. We need to get them out of jail right away. Oh my God, we're so sorry. We apologize. You would think, right? Nope, nope, keep them in jail. I don't get it, folks. I really don't get it. You know, everybody in jail is not guilty. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. There's people that have been falsely convicted, bad testimony, whatever the case may be, and they're sitting in jail and they're innocent. But the majority of those people that are sitting in jail are not innocent. And here's what, like I said, the biggest thing that drives me insane more than anything else is who gets the. So we're gonna do a little quiz. Who gets the lightest sentences and is put back out on the street the quickest? In the comments, I want to hear what you guys think. Who gets the lightest sentences and gets put back out on the street the quickest? That's my question to you guys. Not the people, not we're not talking about people with money, anything like that. What crime? What crimes get back out on the street the quickest, and stuff like that? What crimes do they commit? Go back out the quickest. All right. So I think you guys were not really getting the gist of what I was saying. One person actually is right on the money, and this is my opinion. This is my opinion. And the person that was right on the money, let me see where she is again. Hold on a second, guys. All right. The person that was right on the money was Sandy Kelly. Pedophiles. Pedophiles are one of the crimes. And I know crimes, they get a slap on the wrist, you're naughty, and out the door they go. I was really trying to focus on people that do crimes, real bad crimes. And white collar crime is crime, don't get me wrong, and I get it. But pedophiles, they get such slaps on the wrist most of the time. And it says, and there's been a study done, okay? There's been a study done that says a pedophile will affect no less than 300 children in their lifetime. So it's not like when they get caught, it's not the first time they did it. It's the first time they got caught. And the cycle with pedophiles is they get little slaps on the wrist, and then and then things accelerate, and then they might go to jail. If they go to jail, I know personally somebody that I had a gut feeling. I'm a big believer in going with your gut. And this person, I just got this creeper vibe off this guy. Turned out that he was a pedophile, and he got caught for one person. Okay, and he got 10 years in prison. Got 10 years, which means he probably did 6.5, maybe 7, if that. And then he's back out. He's out. He's back out in society right now. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, whatever it's like. Now, don't get me wrong. If they go to prison, they're at the bottom of the totem pole, and if they can get to them, they're going to take those guys out. They're going to take those guys out. All right. But why is it that, okay, so they've done their time, whatever their time that they're given, let's say give them 5 years, right? They molested all these kids, they get 5 years, they get back out on the street, and they'll say they're a level 3, which means that they're absolutely going to do it again. They know that they're going to do it again, but they've done their time, so they have to let them out. And then they have to basically wait until they ruin another child's life before they can do anything to get them back into prison. That's disgusting to me. They are one of the worst things, and especially when it is. And I'm not talking about, like, so let me be real clear. I'm not talking about the 16-year-old girl and her 18 to 20-year-old boyfriend. I'm not talking about them. That is not a pedophile. Okay, that's somebody, and somebody's girls at 16. You put a little makeup on them, they look like they're 25. Okay, I'm talking about the sickos that are, 40 years old and like 5 and 6 year olds or younger. Those are the ones that there's one cure. I got the cure, and I'd be more than happy to volunteer to give that cure so that they never do it again. Guaranteed they'll never touch another child. And I would be more than happy to be the one to do that. I would do it with pleasure, but not in our society. Oh my God. Uh, you know, but those are the ones that over and over and over. Over and over and over, they do it. And when you have somebody that gets caught and they have thousands and thousands of pictures and videos of these type of things going on with little bitty kids, those people are not, there's no cure for them. There's not. They already said there's not. They already know there's not. And there's one, like I said, there's one cure. So I just, like I said, it's like I said, I was very protective of my children because I was going to make sure that nothing happened to them. And so, it is it is amazing to me that our society tolerates. It's just like rapists. That's another one that it's not about sex. That's what I think people have a misconception of. Rape is not about sex. It's about power and control, and and humiliation and degrading somebody, and those type of stuff. And you know what, guys, and just so you everybody knows, rape does not have to happen exclusively to women. It does happen to men as well. It's just that men don't talk about it. I mean, how can you, a lot of times, if you think about it, if you're a man and something happens because you made poor choices and you put yourself in a bad situation and somebody took advantage of that, men don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. And a lot of those crimes are never reported. So, like I said, rapists and pedophiles, like I said, I have the cure, you know. Yeah, some either you're right, Don Hill, you're right. Because of embarrassment, they realize that a lot of times they're not going to be convicted. The rapist is not going to be convicted. I to me, I don't know. Like I said, it's just to me, there's just one way to take care of that. And but oh, sorry, JJ. Yeah, JJ's on me. It's egg count time. Okay, so how many eggs? And yes or no for the white hen did she lay today? So 6 hens, guys. So do the math. So give you guys a moment to make your guesses, and we'll go from there. So give you guys a moment. All right. Man, it took forever. You guys were killing me. I'm like, there's 6 freaking hens, guys. Okay. And somebody hadn't put it up there yet. A lot of you had the right number of eggs, but not yes or no. So, all right. If you had the same exact guess, well, I'm like, come on, you guys are killing me. If you had the same exact guess as Nostradamus, and guess what? Nobody did. Um, 2 eggs and no for little Miss White Hen. She did not lay today. So I honestly, I got 2 eggs yesterday as well. Really surprised that I got that many with as cold as it has been. So congratulations to Nostradamus. That's more. I think it's like his third win. So he's another one of those ones that is banging it. So congratulations, you've won absolutely nothing, and you are happy about it, which is also good. So, but yeah, it's yeah, I won the Klaus Straub Award. Exactly, exactly. Uh but so it's funny. So what I did, I'll tell you, they laid those eggs early today, and so I collected those eggs and I ate them. I was like, I had 2 from the other day too. I had 4 today. So, and I probably got like 3 dozen that I'm sitting on that are going to be part of when we do our next get together. So we have eggs to cook up, and they'll stay good. There's not like they're going to go bad. So, but yeah, that's too funny. Oh, they're good hens, good hens. But yeah, today was much nicer for them, so they were happy to get out. And I had to this morning, their buckets of water that I have outside for them. I got a stick that I lay in there that I take the stick and I'm like banging and breaking up the ice so that they can drink their water. But uh, but yeah, things are like I said. It's interesting. I'll tell you. You know, I just bought 9 dozen from my or brought in 9 dozen from my coop. Well, how many hens do you have, Don? 9 dozen. My goodness, that is absolutely crazy. Can you use frozen eggs that are in your fridge? Frozen? Why would you have frozen eggs in your fridge? I generally don't. You have 10. So how did you get nine? Or did you mean you got brought in 9 eggs? Or because you said 9 dozen. You said 9 dozen. So did you mean 9 eggs, Don? I think you meant 9. Because when I saw 9 dozen, I was like, holy crap, how many chickens do you have? Oh, your fridge freezes stuff from time to time. Yeah, I generally no, I don't bring them in the house, but for every 2 weeks. Oh, okay. All right. No, I meant 9 dozen. Okay. I just was like, no, I collect eggs every day because sometimes if you don't, they get stepped on, they get broken. If the chickens get into the habit of start eating the broken eggs and eating the yolk and stuff like that, you might get it where you have some of the chickens start doing that. They'll teach other chickens how to do that, and the next thing you know, um, you will have a lot of hens eating their own eggs. So yes, I don't wash the eggs, JBS. Yeah, the eggs will last longer. You could actually put them out on the counter if your temperatures are regulated in your house for weeks, weeks and weeks and weeks, and they're going to be just fine. But you don't wash them first. Once you wash them, you better put them in the fridge. I don't wash any of my eggs, so they are come right from the chicken. They go in the containers, and then I use them as I use them. So, but yeah, so right now I'm saving up eggs for when we do our next get together, and that's where because I'll tell you what, if they're all laying, if I'm getting 4 or 5 eggs a day, I'm not eating eggs every day. So I might eat eggs every other day or every third day. So it builds up pretty quickly. So anyhow, um, a lot of stuff that they're trying to implement, a lot of things going on. Pay attention what happens with this year over the course of the winter, and take it for what it's worth. But do what you need to do. Take care of what you need to take care of. I think that that's really important, and just be smart. Just be smart about stuff. I just like I said, the more prepared we are, the better off we're going to be. If they do come up with another lockdown down the road here, if you're ready for that, you're going to be in much better shape. I and everything is done intentionally. I believe. I'm not saying that it is for sure, but I think that things are done intentionally to see what they can get away with, and everything is a test, and we have to make the decision of what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and what we're going to do about it. Like honestly, folks, if we come together again as human beings and say no more, no more, guess what? It stops. It stops right then and there. But most people are never going to do that. They're not going to come together and say no. There'll only be a small handful that'll say no, and the government goes, well, if we get 90% of the people to go along with what we want, what was the most snow you ever saw in New York? Oh, that's a great question, Bob, and I can tell you exactly. I was in Buffalo for the blizzard of 77, 78. We were living in Buffalo, and the snow was so high. That I remember there was a picture in the newspaper of a guy standing on a mound of snow, and here was the street light. Like here was the street light, and his hand was right there. He had his hand that close to the street light. So yeah, it was a lot of snow. Trees were down in houses. We didn't have school for like 4 or 5 days. I mean, it was great as a kid because you were like, yes, this is awesome. But yeah, it was insane that blizzard, and that's obviously one of the ones that they talk about, the blizzard of 77, 78. And I was in Buffalo for that blizzard. It was funny. We lived in Buffalo for that year. And when that was done, then we moved. But Buffalo can get hit pretty badly. I mean, you guys have seen it just in the last couple of years, the different things that happen. But there was a lot of cars that like this last one that they had in Buffalo, they were digging cars out and digging bodies out. So but imagine 44 feet of snow. Wow. Well, I know that like if you look at out west, and they have the ski lifts, and they're like so high up in the air, and they were showing how when the skiers were going up, and the snow was so high that it literally was a couple of feet below their feet, was where but the snow was that deep, but it was literally 9, 10 foot of snow just all packed up on top of each other. So we got lucky. A friend of my mother had a snowmobile and took us to the store. That's cool. Yeah. But again, if you're ready for those type of events and they happen, which they're going. See, here's the thing that I can guarantee this. This one I guarantee. I'll make a prediction. I will guarantee you there will be events this winter that happen where people get snowed in. It's going to happen. Guaranteed 100% it's going to happen. Where? I don't know. But we'll see where it is. But it's going to happen. And what happens is the more prepared you are for that, if you don't have to leave your home and you don't have to go out, good. Have at it. That's the way I always looked at it. Awesome. I'll stay home. I don't have to go anywhere. I got plenty of supplies. I'm good to go. I can survive a week, 10 days without ever having to leave. Well, I could survive a lot longer than that with ever not having to leave the property. So, I don't have to go out. That's okay. You know, so but yes, the longer the snow stays away, the better. I'm like past that point where, you know, there's times that it's pretty and it looks really nice and I love it. It looks beautiful, great, and then I want it to go away. So never want to see 20-foot snow drifts ever again. I don't blame you, Dale. I do not blame you. So, but again, weather's going to do what it's going to do. I'm reading so much stuff lately, and it was like, so I read this other article, and it said they were talking about well, let's see, yeah, there was another article that I read was talking about 2 billion people being affected. Of course, it's always climate change. See, you got to remember, and I love this. This is my favorite. It was global warming, global warming, global warming, right? But then when you were having these wintry events happening, well, that doesn't mesh when you're talking about global warming. So now it's climate change. So it's all related. It's all part of it. Not that the planet has been doing this cycles for billions of years, long before humans were here, and because we've been basically recording things for the last 150 years. But if you go beyond that, right? Actually, we're much much warmer than other periods. Or it actually we're cooling down. There's other periods where it was much much warmer than it is right now. It's all very fascinating if you actually do, you know, if you do the research. So there have been other periods that it was much much warmer. There was somebody that called out. Uh, who they call out? Who's the big guy? Oh no, no. I'm trying to remember who it was. God, I can't remember the politician. He's a current politician, and they were doing their whole thing about the climate change and all that type of stuff. But and they were saying, well, the reason that you use though, and it wasn't Al Gore. No, it wasn't Al Gore. Yeah, because that's who I was thinking of at first, but it wasn't him. It was somebody else. It was like before Congress. and they were talking to him, and the politician that was talking to him was saying, well, the reason it used that date, John Kerry, yes, Don, thank you, it was John Kerry. Um, the whoever was questioning him was like, well, the reason it used that date because if you go back to here, uh, you know, it was much warmer then, and there weren't human beings here. So how are you? How are you? Well, that was before there was humans, and now we're the cause. Well, we're not the cause. I mean, do we affect things as far as pollution and stuff like that? Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that 100%. But it's just there's a lot of games being played. Like you look at the insurance companies that don't want to insure certain parts of the country anymore because it costs them too much money. So you look at State Farm. State Farm's not, like with the wildfires in California, right? And here's what I love. Well, the wildfires in California are way worse now than they were 20 years ago. Well, do you know why that is, folks? Do you know why that is? I can tell you. I will, and I'll be more than happy to tell you why the forest fires are worse now than they were 20 years ago in California. Do you think it's because of global warming, or is it because of policies that were put in by politicians for piss poor forest management? Right? When you have pine trees, which there's a lot of pine trees in California, and they drop down and they're not allowed to go in and clean them up, you have a powder keg waiting to happen. You got a powder keg waiting to happen. But we got to save the spotted owl or whatever the tree huggers are trying to save. So we can't go in and mess with the forest. No, 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 we can't do that. To make sure that we don't have issues with forest fires. No, we can't do that. I mean, do the research. Yeah, there's no forest management. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're not going in there and cleaning those things out. And so that when the things catch on fire, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but pine burns really hot, really fast. Really hot, really fast. So if you have a lot of that down on the ground, um, what size sweatshirt do you wear? Extra large, neighbor Bob. Extra large. But yeah, I find it amazing, and then they're going to blame it on something else instead of their own policies that caused problems in the first place. So guys, I have still not found my book, so I may have to. Let me see something. Hold on. No, that's not it either. Uh, I'm going to have to dig around and figure out. I know I got to have it here. I might have it someplace else. I haven't found it yet. So we're going to have to kind of wing it as far as shout outs go again. So, um, but let's start out with Heavenly Hills Homestead. Real good people growing giant vegetables. Give them some support. Really good folks. And Ryan's a very down to earth guy. Uh, Also, we're looking at Icky Can up in Canada. Like him as well, too. And it's time to clean. Yeah, well, I just was up in New York and I brought down a bunch of stuff. I got to reorganize, is what I need to do. I need to reorganize. But so anyway, we have Icky Can up in Canada as well. We have Angry Prepper down in New York City, real good guy. There's Truly Tara 76. You have you also have Rudy, which is up in Canada, Alaska Prepper. There's also Alaska Granny. There is Sean James with the Sean James channel and myself Reliance, two different channels. Really good guys as well. Bjorn Hansen. You have, let's see, Corporal's Corner. There's the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. You have Kyle's Cabin, Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota. Nice young couple up there. Girl in the Woods and Bush Radical, husband wife team. Really good people there. Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. You have Kyle's Cabin, Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota. There is Survival Lily coming over from Europe, letting us know what's going on. There's Townsend's, who does showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. Pinball Preparedness, Mary Greeley News, giving you all the latest of what's going on with Yellowstone and everything like that. Deep South Homestead. There is gray man prepping. I may have said that one already, but maybe not. There is, um, let's see, bushcraft bear from the Canary Islands, Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Deep South Homestead. I think I said Southern Prepper One with his Boots on the Ground series. Uh, with the weather, you have Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a great guy, really passionate about the weather. East Tennessee Preparedness. There is, let's see, The Prepared Mind. Green Greg's is another good channel. I know I'm kind of like watching in the chat too, um, but like I said, there's a lot of great channels out there, a lot of information. 80K Man up in the Adirondacks, so yeah, there's, like I said, a ton of great channels, a lot of good information out there. I do believe we should be supporting each other, and I think that that's important that we do so. And if we do that, we're gonna, like I said, it's just we're a small niche community, and so the more that we can shout out each other and help each other out, then we're going to be better off, I think. So the prepared mind, also trying to think of the other ones that I do shout outs for. Already did pinball. Oh, the Appalachian Homestead with Patera. Yep, there's another one. So anyway, so that's it for right now. That's all we'll do. I'll have to dig around and see if I can. I got an idea where it might be, so I'm pretty sure it's where I think it is. Then I just haven't had an opportunity. I've been a little busy, so yeah, I didn't do Biz Rizza Jizza with the Carrington Chronicles. There's another one that's a good one. Doug and Stacy. Yes, I did not do Red Poppy Ranch is another one. Yep. So yep. So there's a ton of really good information, a ton of good information out there, but anyhow, like I said, a lot of good information, a lot of good people. I think it's important looking at different perspectives, the way people look at things. I think that that's important too, because everybody's coming from a different background, different part of the country, and they may look at things a little bit differently, than other parts. It's that's just natural. So, mm. But I know that like up in New York, Syracuse got hammered with some snow up there. They get all that lake effect snow that comes off of Lake Ontario, and it depends on where you're at. Oh yeah, Little House Off Gritty. I don't think I said them. I like them too. That's a neat channel. Malachi's Corner is another one. Yep. So, but like I said, guys, the important thing is to continue to prep, continue to get ready. We have no idea what they have in store for us. We're going to be the last to know. Trust me. We will always be the last to know. So if we are prepared for it and we're able to hunker down and ride out whatever comes, it just gives us that much magic prepper. I did not say. Yep. Thank you, Dale from Ohio. So, but yeah, it's just um, do the best you can, prepare the best you can, be as ready as you can be, and when the time comes, it's just going to give you that much more of an advantage. And that's what we're all looking for at the end of the day, is an edge. We just want the edge, and if we have that edge, it's going to make life better. So, all right. So, but anyway, yeah, it's this time of year, like I said, I know I've said this before, but I hate this time of year when it's dark so early. I like it when I can be out there at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. At 9 o'clock that the sun is finally setting, and you're able to get so much more done in the evening. It just works really. For me, it's much better. I am not a morning person. All right, that's a fact. I don't like mornings. I don't want to be up first thing in the morning. I'm not a guy that wants to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning with the sun and go, hey, let's get the day going. Woohoo! No, I am not a morning person. So I'm always up later at night. I like my quiet time. I'll be honest with you. It's so weird. I was saying to somebody, you know, for somebody that puts themselves out on YouTube, I'm actually a very private person, if that makes any kind of sense. I like my downtime. I like my privacy. I really do. But I want to share, with people, different things as well. So it's the yin and the yang of it, I guess. Go to work in the dark, come home in the dark. Yep. I always hated that too, Rhonda. Always hated that too. So, how do you handle the rooster crowing at 6 a.m.? It's funny where their coop is and stuff like that. You don't really hear them. I sleep with a fan on anyway, so it kind of kills the background noise. And I have for years and years and years. And that's always it's been really nice. I'll be honest with you. I started doing that. I was living in an apartment. I was on the third floor, a studio apartment, and outside that side of the building, because I was on the outside of the building, there was two bars. And anybody that has ever lived near a bar, when 2:30 in the morning comes and the bar is closed, and the lunatics come out of the bars and they're all hammered in the parking lot, raising all kinds of cane. It can really. Oh, Henry Kissinger just died. Well, what was he? 99 years old, JJ. He's up there. That's for sure. Wow. Yeah, I can't believe he finally. I can't believe he lived as long as he did. To be honest with you. So, but anyway, so I started to sleep with a fan on, for the white noise, and man, what a difference! What a difference! So my ex-husband got me hooked on the fan thing. It's awesome. You don't hear nothing else. You're not distracted. You don't have to worry about it. Anybody that's lived in the city, and that's where I was at the time. I was living in the city. He was 100. Okay, yeah, I knew he was up there. I knew he was up there. So, all right, guys, let's do this. We are legion because we are many. We're all over the world. We're all over the country. Where's everybody from tonight? Let's do that real quick. We got Kit in the west coast of Florida, Dayton, Ohio with Rhonda, Central New York with Village Homestead, BC, Canada with Emil, Franklin County, Ohio. We have, let's see, York, Pennsylvania with Laura, Verone, BC, Canada with Gypsy Mama, Shenandoah Valley of Virginia with Gloria, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania with Kathy, UP of Michigan with Dawn, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada with Daryl, BC, Canada with Janet, Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster, let's see, Rolling Meadows, Illinois, Western New York with Karen, Southwest Ohio with Barbara, East Central Illinois with Lana, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. Hey, Clyde, how you doing tonight? Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa, and window fan or ceiling fan, floor fan, just a regular fan. Leesburg, Florida with Joan. We got I found Waldo in Texas. We got Sean in Nebraska. Yeah, just a table fan. Central North Carolina with Troy. Central Iowa with Robert. You just want the noise. That's what you're looking for. Take a box fan. A box fan works great too, because that's all you hear. And you go to sleep and you don't hear anything else. So it just works really, really well. Well, let's see, West Central Ohio with Dale, Kansas City, Missouri with New Frontiersman, Cape Cod, Mass. So, uh, I listen to Storm Sounds on YouTube. Okay. We got Tucson, Arizona with Angela in the house. So, guys, we're all over the place. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. We got Peter in New York, Hillsboro, Oregon with Chewy. So, but yeah, like I said, huge network of people. If we ever come together and got organized, they would be terrified. Organized, squared away people that are ready, they would not like that one bit. We got Morning Light in West Virginia. So, but yeah, like I said, I like that white noise because I sleep so well. Uh, Sacramento, California with Scrappy Cat. I've slept with the TV on since. I see. I can't sleep with the TV on. I want it to be dark. So we got Watcher in Connecticut, Raleigh, North Carolina with the Prepared Family. Yeah, I don't want the light, and I don't want to see all that movement and crap. No, I never slept with a TV. I couldn't stand that. So we sleep with the radio on. Been doing it for years. Okay. Yeah, I never did that either. I just, like I said, I just like that blankness sound. And for whatever reason, when I got together with my ex-wife, I said to her, I go, just so you know, I sleep with a fan on. She goes, you do? And I go, yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome. She goes, so do I. So it was funny. So I sleep with the TV on. My eyes are closed. I don't see a thing. See, the light and the movement and stuff, that bothers me. I can't do it. Can't do it. And really, your eyes are closed when you're sleeping, Village Homestead? You don't sleep with, like, one eye open? Could you imagine sleeping like that? What's going on? That's funny. Anyway, all right. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate for me. I really appreciate what you do. It really makes a big difference keeping these chats nice, and I do appreciate that. I want to thank all you guys also for being here. Really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. I do enjoy these chats, and it is definitely, we have to pay attention to what is going on. We really do. They're trying to slip so many things in everything that they are doing, and I want you to remember this, okay? The majority, I'll rephrase that. The majority of things that are being passed are not laws designed to help you. They are laws designed to control you. That is what amazes me, and that people just go, "Oh, okay, that's cool," because if they continue to do those things, our children and our grandchildren will grow up in a world that is so restrictive they'll never know what having freedom was really about, and that is a sad, sad thing, to be honest with you. So it's all about choices, my friends. If we don't make a stand, nobody's going to make a stand. It's one of the things, like with the Asian populations, they're much more docile. I don't want to say docile because they can be pretty brutal, but they're much more apt to fall in line. I think that's probably a more appropriate way to say that. They're definitely much more apt to fall in line. And but also, when you have a regime like they have in China, that if you rock the boat, you disappear. So that makes people really go, oh, well, we better do what we're told, or we don't want to disappear. Um, but at some point, if you don't stand disciplined, I like that, Dawn. Yes, that is a good term as well. Yes. Yep, they're much more disciplined. So, anyway, guys, remember, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we're going to be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us using race, religion, political affiliation. It's all nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. If we can come together as human beings, make plans, put them into action, we can accomplish anything that we want to. Um, and that's a good thing. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the ones that we love and that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you were trying to do, whatever you were trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one stopping you from achieving your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. If you stay positive and you stay away from the negativity, you're going to be just fine. Just keep prepping, guys. Don't give up. Set realistic goals and stay away from negative people to tell you what you can't accomplish. If you set realistic goals, you can make anything happen. One of our realistic goals this year that we wanted to do and get done was the pavilion. And guess what? It is. You know, it's there. We're going to use it. We used it last month. We're going to use it again this month. And it's so nice to have. It's awesome. And it's just, but again, you set the goal. What do we want to do? What do we want to get done? And it's realistic, it's doable, and bam, you do it, and then go, okay, that's done. We check that off the list, and now we move on to the next thing. And that is huge, really, really important. So, anyway, I am going to jump off. Have a great night, everybody, and I will see you later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.